All right, welcome everybody back to the Roofr Masterclass. I am your host, Pete McKendrick, and I am joined today by my honorary co-host, Raafi. He is one of our product growth team members here at Roofr. So excited to have Raafi on today. I see everybody posting in the chat where they're joining us from. So it looks like folks from all over. Really excited to kind of jump into this one. I know this is something that comes up quite often. We had a plumbing issue a couple of years back with a house that we had, and I ended up hiring the guy that answered the phone. Like literally, it was that simple. I called 3 or 4 places that were reputable places and couldn't get a response. Went to voicemail's full, and then one guy actually answered the phone, and I hired him. I didn't even ask him what he cost at that point. He got the job just by being the guy that was attentive enough to pick the phone up. And so excited for Raafi to showcase what his team's been working on.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Raafi. I'm a principal product manager on the product growth team here at Roofr. And over the last several months, my team and I, we've built an AI that answers your phone, books the appointment, and gives the homeowner an estimate, all before you even seen the missed call. We're very excited to introduce this to you and to officially launch it next month. I'm also excited to walk you through how it works, why we built it, what it does, and what it means for you, and also give you a live demo and walk through a few use cases as to how this AI receptionist works and responds and handles questions and answers in real time during a live phone call with a homeowner.
I think the best place to start here is the why, right? Like, why did you guys decide to go down this road? Why did Roofr decide we needed an AI receptionist tool?
Great question. At Roofr, especially the product team, we try and stay on top of the pulse of our contractors, our customers, and we make sure that everything that we're building, we're planning, it's all rooted in ground reality of what our customers are saying, our contractors are facing on the ground. So through all of the conversations that we've been having of late, we increasingly started feeling that it is important to have a solution that addresses the problem that during peak season, roofers miss calls constantly on a roof, in a crawl space, driving between jobs. Every missed call is a mislead. Nobody is waiting for a contractor to call them back in these days. So this was not a hunch. The pilot customers that we worked with in order to build the AI receptionist, we're already paying $200 to $400 per month for AI solutions that are point solutions that do not integrate with your CRM, that do not know the context of your business or that of your industry, which is roofing. They all work like a typical AI answering service, which collects information, records it, and then gives it to you in some format, which is more like a glorified note taker rather than a true receptionist, which is where we decided that we have a real opportunity here to serve our customers better because we already know your business's context, where you operate, what your hours are, what kind of services you provide, what you don't do, where you're located, along with all the nuances of the roofing industry. And that is where we decided that this is a solution that is worth building in-house within Roofr rather than having our customers rely on third-party solutions.
I've actually seen some of those third-party platforms and how they interact with some of the CRMs. And obviously they serve a purpose. And I see, like you said, they're kind of just a note taker, right? They're grabbing a bunch of information, but a lot of times it's really only feeding it into their platform as well. And so now you're still having to translate it over into the CRM, pull over what's pertinent out of all the notes. And so you guys took it one step further, being able to grab the pertinent information and allow it to also act as an actual receptionist. That's a huge step further than what some of those other tools are doing.
Absolutely. This not only answers your homeowners' phone calls, but also asks questions to them in order to qualify them as a lead for your business. It also feeds all of their information, the action items for you from that conversation. All of that is fed into your Roofer CRM directly without you having to lift a single finger. You also get access to the call recording, the transcripts, and all of that is available for you to scan through and skim through to see if the AI receptionist is responding and performing as per your expectations.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Also great for training purposes with sales folks, right? Like the AI receptionist and how it's interacting with the customers. You could potentially use those phone calls for training purposes later on with new employees.
The functionality that I'm most excited about is appointment booking because currently when homeowners call, voicemail happens or it goes to a missed call and someone has to call back. You're playing phone tag with your lead and leads go cold overnight. With this, when the homeowner calls, by the end of that very same call, there's an appointment on your Roofer calendar. There's no callback needed. There's no phone tag. You could always call them back and firm up the lead. Make sure you understand their situation well before you knock their door. But there is no cold lead happening when you have the AI receptionist.
That's really what we kind of count as like qualifying the lead, right? We've got an appointment in the system. Now that lead's qualified. Now we start to take other actions based on that. So I think that's fantastic that you guys have programmed that in. We get asked all the time for ways to kind of automate that process of capturing that appointment. Let's dive into it. If you want to showcase the actual product here, I know you wanted to actually show it how it works.
Yes, I'm excited. I'll make the phone call from my side and I'll put it on speaker so that everyone can hear the conversation.
Hi, thanks for calling City Roofing. We handle roof replacement and repairs. This call is being recorded, and by continuing, you consent to the processing of your information. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'm calling to ask about my roof's replacement.
I can help you with that. Let me collect some information about your project. First, who am I speaking with today?
My name is John Brown.
Great, John. Nice to meet you. The number you're calling from, is that the best number to reach you?
Yes,
Perfect. What's the address of the property?
it's 66 Queen Street West, Toronto.
Let me verify that address. I'd be happy to get an appointment on the calendar for you. What day or time works best?
I was looking to get this done sometime early next week, preferably in the second half of the day.
Let me check availability for you. One moment.
Mhm.
I have Tuesday next week at 9 a.m., 10:30 a.m., or 12 p.m. available. Would any of those times work for your appointment?
Do you have anything afternoon on that day?
Let me check availability for you. One moment.
Mhm.
I do. On Tuesday next week, I have 1 p.m., 2:30 p.m., or 4 p.m. open in the afternoon. Which works best for you?
The last one works best.
Great. Let me get that booked for you. All right. Great. You're all set for Tuesday at 4 p.m. with Rusty. And to send you a booking confirmation, what's a good email address for you?
john.brown@gmail.com.
Just to make sure I get it right, could you spell each character for me?
Yes. JOHN dot
Go ahead.
BROWN@gmail.com.
Got it. john.brown@gmail.com. Is that right?
Yep.
One moment while I get you set up.
Mhm.
Would you like an instant estimate right now on this call while you're on the line?
Sure.
Is it a residential home or a commercial property?
Yeah, it's where I live. It's my home.
Thank you. What's your timeline for this project? Are you looking to get it done right away in the next few months, or just exploring options?
Well, I want it done as soon as possible.
Thank you. Do you know if your roof is flat, has a low slope, moderate slope, or is very steep?
It's mostly a moderate slope, but there are some steep parts.
Let me pull up your estimate now. This will just take a moment.
Okay.
Still calculating your estimate. Based on what you've shared, your replacement estimate is around $296,560. That's a fairly wide range since I'm working with limited information. A team member will follow up to schedule an inspection and provide a more accurate quote based on your roof slope, condition, and the materials you choose. Do you have any other questions before I let you go?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for calling Trinity Roofing. A team member will follow up with you shortly. Have a great day.
So that was the conversation that we had with the AI right now. I've seen it work with all of the 20 to 30 contractors that we worked with during the pilot while we were building this, is that they connect their main business line to the AI number that we provision for them, which is dedicated only to their business, only to their company. And all of the calls that come in through their main business line get transferred or get forwarded to the AI number that we've set up for them. And some contractors prefer to do it 24/7. Some of them do it during after hours and weekends. So you can play around with all of that. I do want to show what happens after the call is over. How does it show up inside your CRM? So once you log into your Roofr account, you will see AI Receptionist beta on the side. When you click on that, you'll be taken to the AI Receptionist page, which is where you will see all of the calls that have been coming in. And you can see John Brown over here today at 5:13 p.m., 4.5 minutes. The appointment was booked, yes. An estimate was shared, yes. This is the job that was created for John Brown. A contact was also created. So I can go into actions and I can see all the details of the call. Let me just zoom in here for you. So the AI summary is here. And now if you go here, you can see the appointment that was booked. And you click on it, it'll be taken to your Roofr calendar. And right there, you can see that the appointment has been booked and it has been assigned to, there you go. So the residential appointment for John Brown was booked for next week, Tuesday. It says 7 p.m. because of the time zone, but it is actually 4 p.m. for the customer. And this is the address, and the whole AI summary has also been provided in the appointment description, and along with the link to the call recording in case the person who's actually going to show up for the appointment wants to review what the conversation was with the customer, they can do it right here. And if you go back to the receptionist page, you will also be able to then go into the call details and see the entire call recording and the call transcript. If you just scroll down over here, here's the full 4.5 minute recording of the conversation that we just had with John Brown. And you can also read through the transcript if you don't want to listen to the whole recording. So after the call is over, you get the job created, you have an appointment booked, you have a recording, the transcript. And if you go over here, you will also be able to see that this particular customer asked for an instant estimate and got one. So if you go over here to the instant estimate tab in the job card, you will be able to see that this customer was given an instant estimate for their property, which is located here. And the instant estimate was for asphalt, and it was in this range. So these are all the assets and resources that we're pushing into the CRM after the call is over. And at a glance, you can also see how many calls you had lately, how many jobs were created because of those calls, how many of them also got estimates, and what's the total lead value of all the estimates that were generated through the AI receptionist. I'll cover the rest as we progress, but for now, I would like to hand it back to Pete and see if you have any questions.
Yeah, I just want to address something here. One of the misleading things, I think, that when people first started to use AI answering services is that we had to fool the customer into thinking they were talking to a human, right? And that's not the case. Like, that's not what we're trying to do here. That's not what we're trying to accomplish here, right? Like, we don't want the customer to be fooled into thinking that they're talking to someone that works for our company. We're totally fine with the fact that they know they're talking to an AI receptionist. More and more businesses are using them. It's an interesting point, though, right? Because I think that initially, when we started to see a lot of these hit the market, that was kind of the consensus, right? I want the customer to believe they're talking to someone that works for me. And that's not necessarily the case, right? Like, that's not what you guys are trying to accomplish in this situation.
So when we set out to build this being our first AI feature at Roofr, we wanted to build it with some ground rules in place. One of them was that we will not mislead the customer. We will not intentionally or unintentionally do anything of that sort. So we are very upfront that this is AI, which is why the voices that we have selected, that you can select from, are also clearly AI. And we also start every call with the disclaimer that this call is being recorded and the call will be used for training and quality purposes. That's a standard disclaimer that we give out at the beginning of every call. And the second principle that we set in stone while building this is that if the caller at any point of time says that I want to talk to Mark, I want to talk to John, I want to talk to the owner, or I want to talk to a person, an agent, a rep, anything that indicates that they're no longer interested in conversing with our AI, we do not play games with them. We do not do a back and forth with them or send them to another AI or try to keep them on the line. We do not do any of that. We immediately send the call to the second number that you provide us during setup, which could be a personal cell phone, it could be your work cell phone, it could be a second person's phone number. Anybody who's ready and willing to take the call live, we send the call directly to that person as soon as we receive any hint from the caller that they are no longer interested in continuing the talk with an AI.
I love that. There's a question here. The scheduling on the calendar, what is it looking at to determine availability?
So when you set up the AI receptionist for your company, one of the things that you will get to do is decide whether you want it to book appointments for your callers or not. If you do choose to turn that on, then you will need to provide us a list of people who are eligible to take appointments when the callers request one. So this could be your salespeople, it could be anybody you choose to who already has an account with us at Roofr. And from a drop down of all your team members, you'll be able to select those who you want to give appointments to. The receptionist will then, on a live call, look up availability for whoever is available first during the window that the caller requests and give the appointment to them on a first availability basis. So this is our V1. This is the first time we are launching this. So we're going ahead with the appointment logic of first available. From my work with the 30 contractors that I've worked with during the pilot phase, one thing I've learned is that every contractor's preference or logic for booking the appointment is different. Some people like to do it based on geography. Some people like to do it based on seniority or complexity of the job. Some folks like to do a simple round robin. So there are various preferences, and we want to support as many of those as we can. So we've started with first available, optimizing for maximum number of appointments booked. The next version will have round robin appointment booking, because that's the one I've seen most contractors, especially ones with a proper sales team, request us to have. When we hear more from you in terms of feedback and appointment logic, we will try and support as much as we can.
Julian has a good question here. Is there an option where you can choose if you want to take the call?
One of the ways I've seen some of the pilot customers use this is to set up their call forwarding in such a way. It's called conditional call forwarding. The condition is that if I don't answer the call for X seconds or X rings, then send it to the AI receptionist. The homeowner calls your number, let's say it's AT&T or T-Mobile, your phone rings. If you do not answer for the first 5 rings or the first 5 seconds, whatever you've configured, after that, it goes to the AI receptionist, and the AI receptionist answers the call and takes over. So that way you always have the optionality of, answering the call yourself versus sending it to the receptionist.
Carlos has a good question. I didn't really think of it until he asked it here. Does the caller actually receive a copy of the instant estimate after it provides it over the phone?
100%. If they leave their email address with the AI receptionist, they will 100% receive an instant estimate on their email.
Asked if the AI script is editable.
In this initial version, we have accommodated the ability to customize the opening message and the closing message of the AI receptionist. We are working on a future iteration of this where it is possible for you to kind of design the whole conversation flow. When do you want what step or what action to happen in what order? That is something that we do not support today in our first version, but in the future, we have plans to support that customizability.
What about if their call is not to schedule an appointment? What if they literally have a question about an existing appointment or something that's not related to appointment? Maybe they are an existing customer and they call after hours or something and they get the AI receptionist.
Great question, Ismani. So this is where our AI receptionist is better than a traditional note taker or a point solution, in that it can recognize an existing customer from a new one based on the phone numbers that are already existing in your book. Inside your Roofr CRM, we will be able to distinguish a customer who's calling from a new phone number versus an existing phone number. And right now, the treatment that we are giving an existing customer is that we send them directly to the human number that you provide us with. We don't want them to go through the same questions as a new customer with the AI receptionist, because we recognize that's a total waste of everybody's time. So we send them directly to the phone number that you have given us, which a human will answer. And then you can directly address their concerns or whatever they're calling you for, which is maybe to ask about an existing appointment or reschedule it and all of those things. Today, the AI receptionist is capable of handling only fresh new customers and taking in their information, qualifying them, giving them an appointment and an estimate for their job. But in the future, we want to turn receptionist into something that can cater to existing customers and their common needs as well, which could be rescheduling an appointment or canceling an appointment, or just even checking whether the previous job that they got done with you is still covered under warranty.
Yeah, I think that kind of leads into Christian's next question, which was, can it do outbound calls? And currently, no, right? It's meant for the inbound call, but maybe in the future?
Yes, 100% in the future. We want to address every single need, every single pain point that you as a contractor have that we can address with voice. The most burning of them all was the inbound calls getting missed, especially during peak season,
Sure.
Which is why we're launching with that as the first solution that we're solving. But outbound calling is definitely an area of interest for us. We do have the technical capability to make this extendable to outbound calls as well. we are going to get there in our future roadmap.
We have a question about, does the instant estimate feature have to be turned on in order for the AI feature to work?
When you're setting up your AI receptionist, one of the options is for you to choose whether you want it to have the ability to give out estimates. If you do turn it on, you will need to select which of your instant estimators would you like the AI receptionist to use. So if you have more than one instant estimator, you will need to go through your list from the drop down and select the one that you want, that you think is best suited for the AI receptionist to be able to use for calculating the estimate and giving it out. So you do need to have the instant estimator, and you need to not just have it, you also need to have set it up with your preferences for materials, for pricing high, pricing low, pricing medium. All of those things need to be set up in your instant estimator already for the AI receptionist to be able to use it to provide an estimate on a live call.
Yeah, I mean, my mind goes straight to creating the AI receptionist its own instant estimator, right? And then that way, from a lead standpoint, I can track how well those are converting. So that's how I would leverage it personally.
No, that's how I've seen almost all of the customers that I've worked with for the beta. That's how I've seen all of them do it as well. They clone their best existing instant estimator and they make tweaks to it and use that for their receptionist.
Dan's got a really interesting question here. Their outbound phone line is tied to Go High Level, and so it's recording it. Go High Level is recording it. Will the AI agent interfere with that in any way?
Absolutely
If
not.
all Go High Level is doing is recording it and potentially transcribing it.
It does not interfere with your Go High Level setup at all, because it's very complementary to what you do with your Go High Level account. The call comes in, Go High Level answers the call and sends it to the AI receptionist. The AI receptionist does its job, and after the call is over, you get all your resources in the Roofr CRM, like I showed you.
Sorry, Joel, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you're adding another question.
At any point of time, if the homeowner says, I want to talk to a real person or a rep or an agent or somebody by name, then it will immediately transfer the phone call to your team member.
This was part of their next. That's a great segue there, Julian. Thanks.
Yeah. So when you try to talk to the AI receptionist about something that is not an estimate for your roof or an appointment for your roof or replacing or repairing your roof, it will respond with the one sentence that I'm here to help about your roofing needs. If you have anything related to roofing, please let me know. That's all it'll keep saying over and over again till the caller hangs up. It will then, in the AI summary, it will clearly call out that this was a spam call and there's no action to be taken from your end. So it's very good at identifying when someone is calling with a legitimate roofing request versus someone is calling to sell you something or just as a spam or a scam.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we talked about earlier that you kind of noted, Raafi, was like, what if my supplier calls it and he gets the AI receptionist, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it will essentially recognize that he's not looking for a roof replacement or a roof repair and then forward him on to an actual person. What are some of the more common use cases that you've seen now? Like you said, we've got about 30 people that have tested it out with you guys. Now, obviously, you mentioned peak season, small company, you're running around, you're on roofs, things like that. You can't obviously pick up the phone every single time.
I've also seen a lot of contractors use it simply as a system of record so that they have the information of the person that they need to call back, especially in smaller companies where there's one person or two people doing everything. I've also seen a lot of the pilot customers use it as a purely after hours and weekend receptionist as well. Those contractors tend to use it to take in the information when there's nobody available to answer the phone.
Yeah. We have a contractor who's a good friend of Roofers. Having that 24/7 coverage has been a game changer for them because they're always picking up the phone, right? No matter when a customer calls.
And also, a lot of customers do deal with high levels of spam. And while we did not start out building this tool as a spam killer, it has turned out to be a tool that handles spam very effectively. In the future, we want to lean more as product into this direction where it also clearly screens out all your spam calls. But we will obviously also give you the option to mark a particular call as spam or not spam in case the AI does get it wrong.
Nice. It looked like we had some other questions coming in.
I think I covered this, but this is a good opportunity for me to show you what the setup process looks like. What do you do to set everything up? I'll quickly share my screen and walk you through in maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So this is what you will see the very first time you go to the AI receptionist. Before you set it up, you can actually listen to a few scenarios of the AI receptionist being able to handle some calls. Then you can click on setup now. It will take you into the setup wizard. The first step, I love this step, which is listening to all the 9 voices that we provide and seeing which one you resonate with the most. We try to make the voices as diverse and as wide ranging as possible in terms of what they sound and feel like, but at the same time, staying within the range of what is professional, what is acceptable, what is considered normal for a context of a business AI receptionist. You can also toggle the speed. If you feel the voice is too slow, you can make it faster by 10%. Or if you feel it's too fast, you can slow it down depending on what your customers prefer. And once you're satisfied with what you've heard, you can say save and continue. And then we enter the configuration wizard. So first, some basics about your business. How do you pronounce your business's name? And a little bit about your business so the AI understands you better and understands what you do. When customers ask about your business, this is what the AI will rely on to describe your business to them. Here you can enter your company's website. So let me just.
John said he wants me added. He wants my voice added as one of the options.
It's not the first time I've heard that request. I'm not gonna lie.
That's actually funny.
So here you can enter your business's website. You can enter the pronunciation. And here's where you select the instant estimator. So right now I have only one instant estimator. So it's showing up for me as AI receptionist. That's the name of my estimator. If I had more than one instant estimator, they would show up in this dropdown and I will be able to select one of them. I do not offer free inspections. I do residential roofing. I do commercial roofing. I do repairs. I do flood replacements. I do storm. I do insurance. I don't do anything else. Custom greeting and farewell. We've given you 3 options for the opening statement. If you do not like any of these, you can write your own. Similarly, we have 3 farewell options. You can choose one of these, or you can write your own operational information. So here you can enter your operating hours. 8 to 5 is what I've entered for Monday to Friday. Even within weekends, you can split up between Sunday and Saturday, or you can turn off any of the days you want. This is the promised time. Someone from our team will follow up within X hours. Service areas. So you got to select your province if you're in Canada, or your state if you're in the US. Once you've selected that, you can then write down what are the different areas that you cover. And you can also provide a description of your service area. I've seen people say everything north of some marker or a greater Houston area or different things like that. This is the third section where you put in the call details. Here you can select 3 area codes that you prefer your AI receptionist number to be. And if you use a VoIP system, you can say yes, and you can choose which VoIP system you use right now. If you don't, you just use a traditional provider, you can just say no. Here is where you enter your current business number. And here is where you provide the fallback number for the person who will answer the call when the caller says, I want to talk to a real human being. Lastly, appointment scheduling. If I turn this on, it's going to ask me who are the people who are eligible to receive appointments. I don't have anybody else in my team, so it's just one name. But if there were more people, I would be able to select them from a drop down over here. You can select what kind of event you want the receptionist to be able to book. You can select the duration. I'm going to say 1 hour for each event. You can also select a minimum notice period so that there's a buffer time before someone books an appointment with you. So any appointment that is booked cannot be within the next 2 hours. And if you want to block extra time after appointments, you can do that as well. So that's the last step. You click review and finish. And within seconds, you will get your AI receptionist phone number provided to you on the screen. And all you'd have to do after that is set up the call forwarding and let the calls start flowing in.
Cool. I appreciate it. I think that clears a lot of things up, some of the questions that we were getting. But Joe, if you want to start firing questions here.
All right. So we're launching this as an add-on next month. And what we're doing is we're going to provide it for free for the first month as soon as you sign up. And it will start being billed after the first month is over at $99 per month. That is the launch price that we're going with for this add-on. This add-on can be purchased regardless of whichever base plan you're on. It could be our starter plan, it could be our scale essentials or measure plus, it could be any plan. All you need to do is add the add-on and start setting it up. The first month, like I said, is free. You will be charged on the day after the first month, $99 per month. If you go for the annual subscription, then we provide a 15% discount on the annual price. So we are not charging for usage beyond the base limit in 2026. As part of our launch offer, the $99 per month covers up to 200 minutes. And we see more than 90% of contractors that we have worked with during the pilot did not cross the 200-minute mark. Beyond that, we will charge by the minute standard prices. We are not going to charge any per minute cost to you in 2026 as part of our launch offer. So any calls you make, any calls you receive, even after the 200-minute mark, will be free during this 2026 annual year. You can start using it as soon as we launch. September 9th is our target date. You will see it when you log into the platform.
Yeah, a lot of questions around when is it available. Carlos had a question about, can I handle calls for repairs?
If we had more time, I would have loved to do another demo. When I call as a homeowner and tell the AI that I'm looking for some repairs on my roof, it will respect that and it will say that we will book an appointment for you and we will send someone over to take a look at your roof, and it will just take in the appointment. But it will also offer to give you an estimate for a replacement if you're interested. But that comes at the end of the call. So we're not wasting your time if you're not interested in replacement. The thing that we prioritize over everything else is getting an appointment on the calendar. After that, we offer an optional estimate if the caller is interested in it.
Yeah, we had a couple questions here about multiple branches. What if I have multiple locations?
If you have multiple phone numbers where your customers call you, we provide one AI phone number for you. So what I would do in your situation is set up call forwarding from each of those numbers to the AI number.
And I think from a scheduling standpoint, at this point, it's not going to look at what branch or geographical area they're related to. So if that helps, I think it was Carlos and Hannah were both asking similar questions about that. Yeah.
It's all saved in-house. We don't save anything third party. Every piece of information, every data that we get is saved in-house on our systems.
Yeah, and it's saved right in the job, right? That's a good question here about language.
Yes, this is a great question. I've seen this request. We definitely will want to support other languages in the future. Right now, we only support English, but we definitely have this on the cards. We recognize that this is a very important ask for some contractors, and we definitely will be addressing this. The platform that we built is already capable of supporting this. We will get to it in our future roadmap.
How'd we do, Joel? I think we got to most questions, haven't we? I want to really thank everybody for their interaction in the chat today. It's been phenomenal. Tons of great questions. And so I really appreciate everybody's interest and everybody staying super active in the chat. It always makes for a fun webinar to have a lot of interaction and be able to answer everybody's questions. I think somebody said it best, this is a great leap forward to have this seamlessly integrated into the platform. I think is going to be a huge asset for a lot of folks. And so excited to see contractors using it and helping people out with it. But Raafi, what is your email in case they have AI related questions?
It's Raafi.Mohammed@Roofr.com.
Or we have Joel.Castelli@Roofr as well. So any of us can help. If I'm not the guy, I can at least point you in the right direction to the guy. So feel free to reach out anytime. And so thank you everybody for joining us. Appreciate you, Raafi. And we will see you guys next time on the Roofr Masterclass. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.